My beloved child, before the thunder roared, before the wind rose, before the world around you cracked and broke beneath your feet, I was already there. In the stillness before the shaking began, I saw the tremble in your heart. I watched as the storm clouds gathered over your peace, and you wondered, will I survive what's coming? I saw you brace yourself. I saw the fear flicker in your eyes as the winds of adversity howled around you. You questioned, where are you, God? You whispered in the dark, do you still see me? Let me answer you now, not with thunder, but with a whisper. Yes, I see you. I have always seen you, even when you hid your tears beneath a strong face, even when your soul cracked silently in places no one else could reach. Child, the storm is not proof of my absence. It is the backdrop for my nearness. The noise you hear is not chaos beyond control, but the sound of me clearing the ground beneath your feet, removing what no longer serves you, unearthing what has been buried far too long. You are not meant to be destroyed in this storm. You are meant to be delivered through it. Listen to me now, not with your ears but with your heart. Block out the roar of discouragement. Block out the lies that have taken root in your mind, and lean in. Yes, come closer. Because I'm whispering even now while the winds still rage. You see the waves, but I see the foundation I am building. You feel like you're drowning, but I see the breath of new life I am about to release. You hear the thunder, but I hear the prayers you've been too tired to speak aloud. Yes, I have counted your unspoken prayers, the ones soaked in tears at 2 a.m., the ones locked behind clenched jaws and trembling hands. I have gathered them like sacred oil, and they will not be wasted. Not one drop. The storm you're walking through did not surprise me. It did not catch me unaware. I measured its weight before it touched you. I set its limit before it began. And though it shakes the walls of your comfort, it will not shake the pillars of my promises. Child, I do not abandon my own in the dark. I walk straight into the storm to find you. I stand between you and the chaos. My hand is on your chest, calming your racing heart. My voice is closer than the winds. I am here. I am speaking. I am whispering peace into your storm. You've looked around and seen others escape what you're still enduring. You've compared your journey, your delays, your pain. But listen. Comparison is the thief of clarity. It robs you of sight, of presence, of peace. What I am doing in you is not measured by someone else's timeline. Your storm is not a sign of disfavor. It is the sacred ground where my voice is being refined in you. You have begged me to take the storm away. But what if, child, what if I'm using the storm to take away everything that was holding you back? What if the storm is stripping away the false comforts, the silent compromises, the invisible chains? Do not be afraid. Even if your plans have shattered, my purpose has not. Even if your strength has failed, my strength has not. Even if everyone else has walked away, I have not. I never will. I speak now not from a distance but from the very center of the storm. I am in the boat with you, and though the waters rise, they will not drown you. Though the thunder shakes the heavens, it will not shake your identity. You are still mine. You are still chosen. You are still beloved, my child. You've spent so long trying to be strong. You've learned how to smile with aching bones. You've carried the weight of things no one else saw, no one else understood. But now, let me carry you. Lay down the armor you crafted out of pain. Put down the shields you forged from disappointment. You don't need them here. I am your shield. I am your covering. I am your strength. You were not made to survive by self-sufficiency. You were made to live by dependency on me. And I do not shame you for needing me. I rejoice in it. This world teaches you to harden your heart, to move on, to forget, to numb. But I am not asking you to forget what broke you. I am asking you to bring it to me. I want every shard, every bruise, every ache that still whispers, I'm not enough. I wasn't worth staying for. I failed. I'm too late. Child, give me that voice. It is not yours. It was planted in the pain, but it does not belong to you. I gave you a voice before pain ever touched your life, and I am restoring that voice now. Can you feel it? Even now, beneath the storm, something ancient is stirring. Something buried is rising. Not your strength, mine. Not your hope, mine. Not your vision, mine in you. I have always seen what's been hidden inside you, even when you forgot. I never did. There is gold in you that the fire will not destroy. It will reveal. You think this season is about loss, but it is about unveiling. You have not lost your way. You are walking through the womb of transformation. You said, I can't take this anymore. I say, I will take it from here. You said, I don't know who I am anymore. I say, let me remind you. You said, I'm tired of trying to be okay. I say, you don't have to pretend anymore, because I am not looking for your perfection. I am reaching for your surrender. Let go of the version of you built in survival mode. Let go of the version of you shaped by fear. Let go of the timelines you thought you missed. Let go of the punishment you think you deserve. Let go and fall into my arms. Yes, even here, even now, even in this storm. Let me speak truth over you. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not beyond healing. You are my child. You are still called. You are still loved. You are still covered. You are still mine. I have never taken my eyes off you, not in the hospital room, not in the courtroom, not in the backseat of the car when you wept and no one answered, not in the nights you could not pray but just breathed. Jesus, every breath I heard, every silence I sat with, every cry I recorded, and every seed of faith, even when all you had was one final whisper, I have not wasted it. I never will. So now, let me lead you out of confusion and into clarity, out of despair and into divine destiny, out of the fog and into focus, out of fear and into the fire of my presence. Yes, child, come into the fire. Not the fire that destroys, but the fire that refines, that purifies, that illuminates. You are made to burn with holy purpose. You are made to carry a sound that shakes the silence. You are made to release healing into places others abandoned. But first, let me heal you. Let me tend to the wounds you buried under strength. Let me touch the memories you sealed behind walls. Let me hold the pieces of you that even you have avoided, for I do not flinch at your brokenness. I do not recoil from your wounds. Do not regret calling you even now, even after all this time. There is no too far. There is no too long. There is no too late. There is only now, and I am here. The whisper you hear in the storm is not your imagination. It is my invitation to come close, to be still, to let go of striving, to stop performing, to simply be mine. You've asked me, if you're really here, why does it still hurt? If you love me, why didn't you stop it? If you're good, why did they leave? If you're close, why do I feel so alone? Oh, my beloved, I hear the ache behind the questions. I see the trembling behind the silence. And I am not offended by your pain. I do not withdraw because of your questions. I draw near. I am not the one who wounded you. I am the one who is healing you. I am not the one who left you behind. I am the one who carried you when you had nothing left to hold onto. Even when it looked like everything around you was falling apart, I was knitting you back together in the unseen. Your tears are not signs of failure. They are rivers where my mercy flows. Your weakness is not shameful. It's where my power is made perfect. You've been told to move on, but I say, come close. Stay a while. Rest here. Let me restore. Do not rush this season. The storm may still rage outside, but inside I am building something eternal. You may not recognize who you are becoming. That's because I am awakening the original design I wrote over you before the world wounded you. You've lived under labels: broken, abandoned, unworthy, inadequate. But I am tearing those labels off now. Let me replace them with truth, redeemed, carried, chosen, purified, anointed, mine. You are not who your trauma says you are. You are not who your past declared you to be. You are not defined by the divorce, the diagnosis, the betrayal, or the years lost. You are defined by my word, and my word over you is healed, loved, set apart for glory. Even if you don't feel strong, lean on me. Even if you don't feel holy, I have made you holy by my presence. Even if you don't feel worthy, I call you worthy by my blood. You think your failures are final, but I say to you, nothing you've done can override what I've destined. I knew every chapter of your story before you took your first breath, and I still said, yes. Yes to loving you, yes to carrying you, yes to restoring you, and yes still to using you. You think the storm disqualified you, but child, this storm is what qualifies you, because now you carry compassion. Now you understand suffering. Now you walk with eyes that see beyond the surface. Now you've been marked by the fire of heaven. What was meant to destroy you, I am turning into a mantle of authority. You will speak, and others will listen, not because of eloquence, but because your voice will carry the weight of one who has survived. Your story will set captives free. Your scars will be keys to unlock the prisons of others. But for now, don't rush into battle. Come and be healed. Come and be filled. Come and let me whisper to you until my whisper becomes your heartbeat. Let the storm rage around you, but inside peace, inside stillness, inside me. I have not brought you this far to abandon you now. I am not cruel. I am not careless. I am not silent. I am not far. I am here, and I am staying. Let the noise fall away. Let the past lose its grip. Let the fear melt like wax before my fire. I am not a distant God. I am a present Father. I am not a cold ruler. I am a faithful shepherd. I am not a concept. I am your creator, and I am not angry. I am in love with you. Child, you have feared that what happened to you has changed who you are forever. But I say to you now, what happened to you cannot override what I placed within you. The pain may have touched your story, but it did not touch your identity. The storm may have shaken your world, but it did not unseat your inheritance. Yes, some things broke. Yes, some relationships ended. Yes, you lost time. You lost joy. You lost yourself for a while. But nothing is beyond my power to redeem. I am the God who restores lost years. I am the God who makes deserts bloom again. I am the God who walks into graves and calls forth life. And I am the God who is speaking over you now. Live again. Let me resurrect the places you buried out of disappointment. Let me touch the areas you labeled too far gone. Let me breathe into your dry bones and make you rise. You will not remain in this storm forever. This is not your new home. It is the hallway. And I am leading you through it. You've asked, when will this end? But I ask you, will you trust me even here? Will you trust that even this storm has purpose? That I am not wasting a single moment of your pain? I do not rush healing. I do not offer shallow fixes. I go deep, deeper than the wound, deeper than the shame, deeper than the words you still remember. And where others put bandages, I plant gardens. The healing I give is not temporary. It is eternal. It does not wear off in the night. It does not depend on your mood, your merit, or your momentum. It depends on me, and I am faithful. You've measured your worth by your mistakes, but I measure it by the price I paid for you. You've seen yourself through the lens of loss, but I see you through the lens of love. You are still worth fighting for. You are still worth redeeming. You are still worth healing, not because you've earned it, but because I have chosen you, and I do not change my mind. So let me carry you now. You don't have to keep proving yourself. You don't have to hustle to earn my favor. You already have it. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You just have to be honest with me. I can handle your sorrow. I can handle your questions. I can handle your numbness, your silence, even your anger. Because I know what lies beneath it all. A heart that is still reaching for me. And that is all I need. You see, I do not come for the perfect. I come for the wounded. I do not wait for you to rise before I speak. My whisper comes while you're still on the ground. Because that's where I do my greatest work. Not when you're standing tall, but when you're kneeling, broken, surrendered, and honest. I rebuild from ruins. I crown the humble. I anoint the crushed. I raise the bowed down. So don't fear your brokenness. It is the very soil where I plant my glory. Listen closely again. That sound in the storm? It's not just thunder. It's the sound of chains breaking. It's the sound of shame loosening its grip. It's the sound of old lies dying. It's the sound of me rewriting your story. And soon, the storm will quiet, not because you've escaped it, but because you've overcome it. With me, in me, through me. You were never alone. Not for a moment. Not in the nights you stared at the ceiling, unable to pray. Not in the car when you screamed and no one answered. Not in the hospital. Not at the graveside. Not in the courtroom. Not in the silence. I was there. I held your soul when your hands were empty. I breathed for you when you had no breath left. I wept with you when no one else saw. And I whispered, "This is not the end." No, child, this is not the end. It is the beginning of something you cannot yet imagine. You see ashes, but I see a crown of beauty. You see loss, but I see an anointing born from surrender. Yes, you've walked through fire, but you're still here. And that is not an accident. It is evidence. Evidence that the fire could not consume you. Evidence that my hand has been on you the entire time. You may feel like all that remains is ruin, but I specialize in rebuilding ruins. I restore what no one else dares to touch. And I'm starting with you. Let me build again. Let me take the scattered bricks of your life, the pieces that no longer seem to fit, the dreams you laid to rest. Let me build something sacred from it all. I am not just healing you for yourself. I am healing you for others. You are becoming a resting place for my glory, a safe place for the wounded to find shelter. Your scars will shine with my light. Your weakness will become the door through which others meet me. You will carry a fragrance, not of fear, but of fire-tried faith, not of despair, but of divine restoration. And when people ask, "How did you make it through?" you will say with tears in your eyes and fire in your voice, "It was the whisper in the storm. It was him. He never left me." So now breathe, my beloved. Breathe deep. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension leave your brow. Let your soul be still again. I am lifting the heaviness from your chest. I am breaking the word curses spoken over your life. I am silencing the inner critic that keeps replaying old failures. I am commanding every lie to bow to my truth. You are not unworthy. You are not forgotten. You are not too broken to be used. You are healed, in process, but already whole in my eyes. You are anointed, even if you feel ordinary. You are mine, and I do not take that lightly. Let this storm teach you how to hear me. Let it sharpen your ears, soften your heart, and quiet your soul. Because my whisper is not just for this season, it is for every moment of the journey ahead. You will walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere. Not by shouting, but by carrying my whisper. The same whisper that sustained you will now sustain others through you. You will carry peace into panic. You will speak calm into chaos. You will remind others of who they are, because you have remembered who you are. And when the storm has passed, when the sky clears, when the waters settle, when the winds grow still, you will not walk out the same. You will walk out wiser. You will walk out deeper. You will walk out freer. You will walk out crowned. And you will say, not with bitterness, but with holy reverence, the storm did not destroy me. It baptized me. It birthed me. It branded me with his voice. So fear not, my child. The storm may still roar, but my whisper is louder, and it will lead you all the way home. Now rest. You are safe. I am here, and I am not going anywhere. This is only the beginning. My beloved, you think your tears are signs of weakness. You've wiped them away in secret, ashamed that they still fall after all this time. But let me tell you something sacred, something holy, something hidden from the eyes of this world. Every tear you've cried, I have caught. Not one has been wasted. Not one has been ignored. Not one has evaporated into nothingness. They are not forgotten. They are not failures. They are treasures. When you wept silently at night thinking no one saw, I saw. When you held yourself in trembling arms, unable to speak the pain, I was there. When you buried your grief beneath busyness, beneath duty, beneath strength, I still heard the cry of your heart. I was there when the diagnosis came. I was there when the goodbye was whispered. I was there when your soul broke in places even you couldn't describe. And I did not stand at a distance. I knelt beside you. Your tears baptized sacred ground. They watered seeds that will bear fruit in time. They did not fall into emptiness. They fell into my hands. Child, the world does not know what to do with your tears. It tells you to dry them quickly, to move on, to get over it. But I say to you, come cry with me. I am not embarrassed by your sorrow. I do not silence your mourning. I sit with you in it. I hold space for every ache. I do not demand that you be strong. I remind you that I am your strength. You don't have to perform healing. You just have to allow it. And sometimes, healing begins with one honest tear. Let me show you what I see in your tears. I see history. I see longing. I see love that was never returned. I see betrayal that cut deeper than words. I see dreams that were buried too young. I see prayers that seemed unanswered, yet are still alive in my heart. I see you, as you are, not as you pretend to be. I see the child within who still longs to be held. And I am here to hold you now. Yes, cry. Let the dam break. Let the years unwind. Let the sorrow find its way to the surface, because I will meet you there. You've tried to hold it all together for so long, but I never asked you to. I asked you to be with me, to trust me, to bring me your whole self, not just the parts you think I'll accept. Your tears are not a liability in my presence. They are an offering, an incense more fragrant than eloquent prayers, a river more honest than any song. Do not be ashamed to feel. I gave you tears for a reason. They are the overflow of a heart that still beats, the release valve of the soul, the language of the broken seeking hope. And I hear that language perfectly. There is a reason I said, blessed are those who mourn, not because mourning is comfortable, but because I am close to the brokenhearted, closer than breath, closer than pain, closer than the ache itself. You've been taught to hide emotion, to smile for the sake of others, to push your grief into the corners of your soul, where even you are afraid to look. But today, let those hidden rivers flow. Let the grief come into the light. Let the wounds breathe, because only what is brought to me can be healed by me. Child, I did not design you to carry unwept sorrow. Tears are not weakness. They are prayers in liquid form. They say what words cannot. They speak directly to my heart. I have bottles for them. Yes, real ones. I have written each tear into my book. They are remembered. They are marked. They are sealed with my compassion. Even the tears you no longer remember crying, I remember. Even the tears you held back because you thought it was too much, I felt them anyway. Even the ones that never reached your eyes because your numbness drowned the feeling, I counted those too. Let me tell you a secret. Some of the most powerful breakthroughs in your life will not come from your shouting, but from your weeping. For when you weep in my presence, walls fall, pride dies, pretending is stripped away, and all that remains is you and me. And I can work with that. I can heal that. I can resurrect from there. You don't need to fix yourself to be held. You just need to come to me, honestly. Do not compare your tears to anyone else's. Do not belittle them. Do not rush them away. Some people cry easily. Others hold tears like treasure, buried deep. But no matter how they fall, when they fall, they matter to me. Your tears are telling the truth your lips cannot form. Your tears carry weight in the spirit. They move my heart. They tilt heaven in your direction. And when you cry with me, not just to me, but with me, something holy begins to rise. I cry too, you know. Yes, God weeps. I wept over Jerusalem. I wept at Lazarus's tomb. I weep even now for every heart that thinks it must suffer alone. You are not alone. You are not invisible. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are mine. Let me wash your face, not with judgment, but with joy. Let me cup your chin, lift your eyes, and say, look at me. I still see beauty. I still see purpose. I still see you. You who are grieving, you who are quiet in your pain, you who are numb and feel nothing at all. I treasure you. I treasure your tears. This storm will pass. This ache will lift, and when it does, you will be softer, not harder, more compassionate, not cynical, more whole, not less. Because the tears that fall in my presence do not return void. They go into the soil of tomorrow's healing. They water the fruit of tomorrow's joy. And yes, joy is coming. There is a laughter I have reserved for you, a lightness you have not felt in years, a restoration that will make you say, only God could have done this. But for now, let me be the God who sits with you in your sorrow, not rushing you, not fixing you, just loving you as you are. Because your tears do not offend me, they move me. And one day the very place where you wept will become the place where others come to be comforted. You will hold their hands. You will whisper, I understand. And you will carry the oil of comfort that only comes from one who has truly cried in the arms of God. So do not despise your tears, beloved. They are not the end, they are the beginning. They are not a failure, they are a fountain, and I am here, catching each one, turning them into rivers, and leading you to life. This is the tear I treasure, and you are the one I love. My beloved, you've carried so much for so long. You've held things together with trembling hands. You've managed pain beneath a composed face. You've built walls of control around a heart that simply wanted to feel safe. But I did not create you to survive by control. I created you to live by surrender. This is not a command. This is an invitation. Not from a tyrant, but from a father. Not to shame you, but to free you. You've clenched your fists trying to hold on to what's slipping away. You've braced yourself against every uncertainty. You've been taught that strength is self-reliance, but my way is different. My strength is made perfect in surrender. I see the fear behind your striving. I see the questions behind your perfectionism. I see the ache in your need to be enough, to do enough, to never fail again. But child, when did you begin to believe that you had to carry this alone? Who told you that your worth was in your performance? Who told you that you had to hold everything together even when you were falling apart inside? That was not me. I'm not here to add pressure, I'm here to lift it. I'm not asking for your excellence, I'm asking for your yes. Let go. Let the tears fall. Let the walls crack. Let the weight slip from your shoulders. Let your heart exhale. Surrender is not weakness. It is worship. You've tried so hard to be strong, but I never asked you to be the savior. You are not responsible for holding the world up. I am. Let me be the one who catches you. Let me be the one who finishes what you started. Let me be the one who carries what you were never meant to bear. The pain? Surrender it. The shame? Surrender it. The outcome? Surrender it. The timeline? Surrender it. The what-ifs? Surrender them all. I am not looking for your control. I am longing for your trust. Trust looks like rest. Trust sounds like silence. Trust feels like letting go of your need to explain, to defend, to always be okay. I do not despise your need to understand, but I invite you higher, beyond understanding, into faith, into a place where my peace surpasses what your mind can grasp. Child, it's time to lay down the illusion that you must fix yourself, that you must get it all right before I come near. I come now, as you are, not when you're clean, but to make you clean, not when you're whole, but to make you whole. This is not about your power. This is about my presence. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right on time, because today your surrender becomes the turning point. Today you stop striving. Today you stop carrying things I never asked you to carry. Today you realize you can be held even in your mess. I am not disgusted by your brokenness. I am drawn to it. Because where you end, I begin. I've watched you fight battles in your mind, battles between fear and faith, between control and trust, between performance and peace. But I am not at war with you. I am not resisting you. I am simply waiting for you to open your hands. Will you give me what you're holding? Will you trust me with the outcome? Will you believe that I'm good, even when the way forward feels unclear? You see chaos. I see a canvas. You see failure. I see formation. You see delay. I see preparation. Nothing is wasted in my hands, not even the parts of your story that make you wince. I redeem even the ashes. But child, I cannot fill hands that are still clenching what they fear to lose. I cannot pour new oil into a vessel sealed by fear. Let go. Let me. I am not taking from you. I am making room for you. You've thought surrender meant defeat, but it is actually your promotion, because when you surrender to me, you are no longer limited by your strength. You are fueled by mine. You rise, not because you push harder, but because you have fallen deeper into trust. And trust is where miracles begin. Do you see? Your surrender is not the end. It is the beginning of the supernatural. Come lay it down, child. Lay down your past, your plans, your pressure. Lay down your pride, your pain, your pretense. Lay down your guilt, your goals, your guarded heart. I will not break what you bring to me. I will hold it, heal it, and breathe on it. I will give you beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, strength for weakness. I will take your surrendered life and write glory upon it. This is the invitation, and the door is open. Will you come? Will you trust? Will you surrender? My beloved, you've heard so many voices lately, some loud, some subtle, some speaking fear, some reminding you of failures, others pushing you to strive, to fix, to do more, be more, achieve more. But today, I am calling you out of the noise and into the silence, not the silence of abandonment, but the silence of presence, the kind of silence that heals instead of haunts, the kind that doesn't need answers to be enough, the kind of silence that says, I am here. You don't need to speak, just rest. You've been talking for so long, to others, to yourself, to the empty ceiling. You've cried prayers that felt like they vanished into space. You've wrestled to hear me in the chaos, but I whisper now. It is in the silence that I am rebuilding you. It is in the quiet that I am restoring your inner world. You've sought deliverance in a storm, but I have chosen to meet you in the stillness. Let me teach you how to rest in holy quiet. Let me show you what it means to simply be, not useful, not productive, not perfect, just mine. Child, I do not love you because of your words. I love you because of who you are. Even in your silence, I am listening. Even when you don't pray, I am near. Even when your soul cannot form the words, your silence becomes sacred space to me. There are moments when I remove the noise, not to punish you, but to heal you. Because sometimes, healing doesn't come in a shout. It comes in a breath. A pause. A moment when you stop performing long enough to realize I've been waiting beside you all along. Let the silence be the balm. Let it wrap around your weary soul like a warm blanket. Let it soften the places hardened by disappointment. Let it undo the pressure. Let it still the panic. You are safe here. Safe to stop running. Safe to stop explaining. Safe to just be still. I am not rushing you. I am not impatient with your process. I do not need noise to work. In fact, my deepest work often begins in the hush. Do you remember Elijah? He looked for me in the earthquake, in the fire, in the wind, but I was not there. I came in the gentle whisper, the still small voice, and I come to you now the same way, not with force, not with fury, but with a presence so gentle it can only be received in silence. Breathe now, slowly, intentionally. Let the weight fall from your chest. Let the tension leave your shoulders. Let your spirit settle into stillness. I am here. There is no pressure in my silence, only presence. There is no punishment in my stillness, only peace. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to pray the right way. You don't even have to understand what's happening. Just rest. Let the silence cleanse you. Let the quiet wash over the clutter in your mind. Let my peace fill the spaces you didn't know were empty. You have tried to heal through knowledge, through motion, through distraction. But this healing, the one I'm doing now, requires stillness. I'm reaching into places deeper than words can go. I'm touching memories that language cannot access. I'm speaking to the child inside you that stopped trusting, not with theology, not with sermons, but with silence soaked in love. Can you feel me now? I'm not far. I'm closer than ever. Even when I seem quiet, I'm working. Even when I don't speak, I'm holding you. Even when you feel nothing, I'm doing more than you know. Do not fear the silence. Embrace it. Welcome it. Make space for it. Because in the silence, you are not alone. You are being healed. Let me make this holy for you. This room, this chair, this breath, this moment, this stillness. This is where healing happens. No noise, no pressure, just me and you, and the space between us that is now full of glory. So come often, come empty, come real, come into the silence, and let me fill it with healing. My beloved, there is a war raging inside you. Not a war of flesh, not of fists, but of thoughts. A silent, relentless battle taking place between your ears, where lies have taken root like thorns, and shame speaks louder than truth. But I say to you today, the battle for your mind is one I have already won. You were never meant to be tormented by voices that do not sound like me. You were not designed to carry cycles of anxiety, regret, or confusion. You were born to walk in peace. You were formed for clarity. You were created to host my thoughts, not the enemy's accusations. I hear the questions that keep spinning. What if I'm not enough? What if I've missed it? What if I fail again? What if this never ends? But child, those are not my thoughts. Those are the whispers of a defeated foe, desperate to keep you from the stillness I gave you in the last chapter. desperate to keep your mind crowded so your spirit stays quiet, but no more. Today I walk into the battlefield of your mind, and I raise my banner of truth, not with condemnation, but with fire and compassion. Let me speak plainly. Every thought that brings fear, shame, or condemnation is not from me. I do not speak in torment. I do not push you into panic. I do not spiral you into doubt. I lead you beside still waters. I restore your soul. I guide your mind with my peace. So if the voice you hear isn't leading to rest, then it isn't me. Child, I see how hard you try to silence the noise. You've scrolled, you've numbed, you've run to distraction, you've performed and overworked to silence the inner critic. But I say to you now, you don't have to fight alone. This battle is not yours, it is mine. And I have given you weapons not of this world. Weapons of divine power to demolish strongholds, to take every thought captive and make it bow to truth. You don't have to believe everything you think. You are not your thoughts. You are not the lies that echo in moments of weakness. You are not the memories that shame tries to use against you. You are mine, and my thoughts toward you are always good. Let me retrain your mind. Let me rewire what trauma tried to shape. Let me remove the labels you've worn for too long, too broken, too late, too much, not enough. None of those came from my lips. Let me speak identity back into you. You are chosen, you are seen, you are safe, you are sound, you are free. I know the pain that distorted your thinking, the moments that told you you had to earn love, the days where survival became the goal, the nights where guilt shouted louder than grace. But I am renewing your mind now, not with empty mantras, but with living truth. The enemy says, you'll always be anxious. But I say, my peace guards your heart and mind. The enemy says, you've messed up too much. But I say, my mercies are new every morning. The enemy says, you're on your own, but I say, I will never leave you nor forsake you. This is not just comfort, it is warfare. And every time you believe me over your fear, you win ground. Every time you reject the lie and speak my word, you tear down walls. Every time you take captive the thought that shames you and hold it up to the light of my love, you silence the accuser. This is how strongholds fall, not all at once, but one thought at a time. You've asked me for deliverance, and I say to you now, it begins with the mind. You will not always feel free until you begin to think free. Let me take your thoughts. Let me sit with you in them. Let me replace them with truth so deep that no lie can live in its presence. You are not at the mercy of your past. You are not powerless against your thoughts. You have my spirit, and where my spirit is, there is liberty. So now declare this with me. I have the mind of Christ. I will not be ruled by fear. I will not be governed by guilt. I will not be shamed into silence. I will think what heaven thinks. I will believe what he says. I will walk in clarity, and I will no longer partner with lies, because truth is a person, and truth lives in me. This is the renewal. This is the reset. This is the divine upgrade, from torment to peace, from confusion to clarity, from survival to stillness. You are not crazy. You are not lost. You are not too far gone. You are simply in the battlefield of transformation, and I am right here, fighting for you. Now breathe. Let the lies go. Let truth rise. Let the mind be free. My beloved, you've cried out for me in the middle of the heat. You've asked, why is it so intense? You've begged, how much longer must I endure this? And you've whispered, sometimes through gritted teeth, is this fire going to destroy me? But I say to you now, no, child, this fire is not here to consume you. This fire is here to refine you. You are not being punished. You are being purified. You are not being forsaken. You are being formed. This heat you feel, it's not the absence of my love. It's the evidence of my closeness. I am in the fire with you. You've prayed for breakthrough. You've asked me to draw near. You've longed to be changed. And beloved, this is how it happens. Not on the mountaintop, but in the furnace. This is where false identities melt, where shallow comforts burn away, where idols are exposed, where the old you is reduced to ashes. So the real you, the radiant you, the called and chosen you, can rise in glory. Do not be afraid of the fire. It is not here to take your life. It is here to give you one. I am the God who walks with you in the flames, just as I did with the 3 in Babylon's furnace. The world saw 4 men walking, but only 3 were thrown in, because I always show up in the fire. So look around, child. You're not alone. Feel the heat. And then feel my presence in it. It is stronger than the flames, stronger than your fear. The fire is not your enemy. It is my tool. It removes what you no longer need. It loosens the grip of what was never meant to stay. It clears the dross so the gold can shine. I know it hurts. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you want to run. But listen, the parts of you that burn away here cannot follow you into your future. This season may look like loss, but it is truly liberation. What if you stopped seeing the fire as the end of something and started seeing it as the beginning? What if the shaking is actually me breaking the chains? What if the stripping is actually me preparing you to wear a new mantle? What if the pain is really the pressure of transformation? Gold does not fear the fire, because it knows what it becomes on the other side. Neither should you. Child, I would not allow a fire that leads to death, only one that leads to destiny. You've feared that you're being destroyed, but you're actually being distinguished. You've thought this season is about survival, but it's really about revival. You are not being undone to be discarded. You are being undone to be recreated. This is not devastation. This is divine design. Let me tell you what's really happening. The fire is revealing your foundation, and I am showing you that your foundation is me. When everything else is shaken, I remain. When all you trusted in fades away, I stay. And what is built on me will never burn. So let the fire fall. Let it burn what can be burned, because what remains afterward will be glorious. You will walk out of this like refined gold, with eyes clearer, with purpose stronger, with a voice bolder, with compassion deeper, because those who survive the fire do not walk the same. They shine. They carry weight. They carry heaven. And that is what I'm doing in you. So surrender to the refining. Trust the process. Feel the heat, but know my hands are holding the thermostat. It will not go higher than necessary. It will not last longer than it must. I am the refiner, not the destroyer. One day soon, you will look back on this fire, not with regret, but with reverence. Not with fear, but with gratitude, because you'll see what it produced in you. A heart more like mine. A faith that cannot be shaken. A purity that shines in the dark. And a glory that carries my name. So stay in the fire, just a little longer. I am with you, and I am not done. The flame will finish its work, and you will emerge shining. My beloved, you've been trying so hard to be strong. You've told yourself, if I just do more, if I just try harder, if I can hold it together a little longer. But your strength is wearing thin, your soul is tired, your heart feels bruised beneath the surface. And now here, in the breaking, let me speak something holy into the silence. My grace is enough, not just enough to save you, but enough to carry you, enough to hold you when you fall, enough to sustain you when you're too weak to move forward, enough to keep you when your mind is spiraling and your faith feels fragile. You were never meant to live by the strength of your own hands. You were made to live by the strength of my grace. Grace is not a soft word. It is a powerful force. It does not ignore weakness. It absorbs it and transforms it. It does not excuse failure. It redeems it. You don't need to hide your weakness from me. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to earn your place. You are already mine. You are already enough, because I am enough in you. Remember, Paul, who pleaded for the thorn to be removed. 3 times he asked. 3 times I said no. Not because I ignored him, but because I gave him something better than relief. I gave him grace. And to him and to you I say, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. You've been taught to hide your weakness, to only show your victories, to speak only of strength. But I say, let the weakness be seen, because that is where my glory rests. Child, you don't have to impress me. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You don't have to fake joy or strength. Bring me the raw, bring me the tired, bring me the worn out, the discouraged, the questioning, the ashamed. I will meet you there. I always have. My grace is not only for the beginning of your journey, it is for the middle. It is for the dark valleys. It is for the days when your prayers are whispers and your hope is flickering. It is for the moments when your mind doubts what your spirit still clings to. It is for the chapters where you want to give up. It is for today. Let grace be your rhythm. Let it flow into every part of you, your decisions, your regrets, your relationships, your story. Let grace be the melody beneath your chaos. Let it carry you when your legs cannot. Let it silence the voice that says, you should be over this by now. There is no shame in weakness. Weakness is the womb of divine strength. Grace does not require perfection. It only asks for honesty. Honesty that says, God, I can't do this. And hears me respond, good. Now let me. Grace is the strength that waits for you at rock bottom. It is the voice that says, even now, even here, still mine. It is the rope that pulls you out of the pit you thought you'd never leave. It is the light that gently breaks into your darkness. And once grace touches your story, nothing stays the same. Shame loses its grip, striving ceases. Joy returns, not because circumstances change, but because you finally believe, I am loved exactly as I am. Let me teach you to live from grace, not for approval, but from it. Not to earn identity, but because you already have one. Not in fear of failure, but in faith that I will catch you every time you fall. You feared you would disappoint me. But listen, I knew every weakness before I called you, and I still said yes. You are not a mistake. You are not a burden. You are not behind. You are my beloved. And grace is what holds you when everything else gives way. So rest. Rest in the truth that you are fully known and still fully loved. Rest in the arms that never grow tired of holding you. Rest in the strength that isn't yours, but is always available. Rest in grace. You are not disqualified. You are not disowned. You are not done. You are simply being held by a grace that never runs out. Let that grace speak louder than your guilt. Let it sing over you in the silence. Let it guide you gently into freedom. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to be willing to fall into the arms of the one who already holds everything together. This is the strength of my grace. Not a demand, but a gift. Not a weight, but a wind beneath your wings. And it is yours, now and forever. My beloved, you've walked through the valley. You've wept in the silence. You've surrendered in the fire, and now I lead you to the water. Not just any water, but a wellspring. Not the kind that dries with the season. Not the kind you must strive to earn, but the kind that flows from within. This is not happiness that depends on what happens. This is not laughter that avoids pain. This is joy, deep, divine, unshakable joy, the kind that lives where my presence dwells. And child, I dwell in you. You've believed joy was something distant, something that belonged to the healed, the whole, the victorious. But I say to you now, joy is not the reward at the end. It is the companion along the way. Joy does not wait for the storm to pass. It dances in the rain. It is not fragile. It is not fake. It is fierce. It is holy. It is mine, and I share it freely. Let me tell you what joy really is. It is the strength in your bones when the world says you should collapse. It is the light in your eyes when darkness still lingers. It is the quiet laughter that bubbles up not because everything is right, but because I am still good. Joy is what happens when grace meets gratitude and creates a fountain in the soul. Child, you don't have to wait to feel joy. You don't have to earn the right to smile again. You don't have to apologize for being radiant. Joy is not disrespect to your pain. It is resurrection power from your pain. It is what rises after the tears have watered the ground. You've cried long enough. Now let me show you the laughter that's been stored up for you. You may not even recognize yourself when it comes, because for so long, survival became your song. But I am changing the melody now. You will sing again. You will dance again. You will laugh. Deep, full, uncontrollable laughter. Not because the pain didn't happen, but because it no longer owns you. That is what joy does. It marks the moment where sorrow ends its sentence and grace finishes the story. I am not only the man of sorrows, I am the author of joy, and I am writing joy into the pages of your life again. It begins here, in this place, where the desert has cracked and water is rising. Let me be your wellspring. Let me pour into you until you overflow. Let me become your delight, not because everything is perfect, but because I am with you. Joy is not a destination. It is a person. It is me, and I live in you. The enemy tried to steal your song, but now I restore it. The world tried to silence your smile, but now I awaken it. This is the season of joy rising. Joy that is not forced but flows. Joy that is not loud, but lingers. Joy that fills you and spills into everything around you. Do not be afraid of joy. It is not fragile. It will not vanish. It is not a trick. It is not too good to be true. It is my gift, and it is your portion. So let your soul remember how to laugh. Let your lungs fill with air that doesn't carry fear. Let your steps feel light again. Let your hands lift not in effort, but in celebration. Because even here, even now, joy is possible, and not just possible, promised. For in my presence there is fullness of joy, and my presence is not a far-off place. It is right here, right now, in you. Drink, beloved, drink deeply. The well will never run dry. You don't need to earn it, you only need to come thirsty. And joy, real, resilient, radiant joy, will rise like the morning sun and flood every shadow that still lingers. This is the wellspring of joy, and it is yours, forever. My beloved, you've asked why I didn't stop the wounding, why I didn't intervene sooner, why I allowed your heart to be broken, your trust to be betrayed, your soul to carry wounds so deep they changed how you see the world. You've cried, where were you? And I've been answering again and again. I was right there, not causing the pain but weeping with you in it, not authoring the suffering but catching every drop that fell. But now I want to show you what I was doing, even in the silence, even in the ache, even in the long nights where healing felt like a myth and hope was too heavy to hold. I was making oil, yes, oil, the kind that doesn't come from ease, the kind that cannot be bought, the kind that flows only from what has been pressed, crushed, and surrendered. Child, the oil I pour through you now didn't come from books, it didn't come from sermons, it came from the crushing, and now that same oil will become balm for others. You've been wounded, but you are not worthless. You are not disqualified. You are not discarded. You are being anointed, because the ones who bleed and survive are the ones I trust with my power. The ones who carry compassion not as an idea, but as a memory. Let me say it plainly. Your wounds will become wells. Wells of healing for others to drink from. Not because you're perfect, but because you understand pain, because you know how it feels to break and how it feels to be held by me. I use the broken. I use the weak. I use the ones who thought their story was over, because they are the ones who carry oil. The world sees scars and says damaged, but I see scars and say qualified. You are not just a survivor. You are a vessel. A cup that overflowed with sorrow, but now spills with healing. Not because the pain is gone, but because you stayed in my hands long enough for me to transform it. Oil cannot be produced without pressing. Wine cannot come forth without crushing, and glory cannot be revealed without surrender. Child, your most painful place will become your most powerful ministry. You will sit with the grieving and not look away. You will comfort the abandoned with the same comfort I gave you. You will speak to the addicted, the abused, the rejected, and your words will carry weight because they are soaked in compassion, drenched in oil. This is not theoretical. This is incarnational. This is what it means to be a wounded healer. Not one who hides the scar, but one who shows it and says, "He met me here. He can meet you too." You will not lead from your strength, but from your encounter. You will not preach perfection, but presence. And where your voice once trembled, it will now carry authority. Not because you're fearless, but because you've walked with me through fire, through silence, through sorrow. You've looked at your past and asked, "Can anything good come from this?" But child, I do my best work with broken pieces. I don't discard what is shattered, I gather it. I take the fragments of your life and I fuse them together with gold. Gold of mercy, gold of redemption, gold of my unrelenting grace. What once looked like ruin will soon shine with glory. Not because the pain didn't happen, but because I entered it. And where I enter, nothing stays lifeless. You've seen the crushing as loss, but I see it as preparation. The oil you now carry was not cheap. It was paid for with tears, with groans too deep for words, with nights when your only prayer was breathing. But hear me, I do not waste what cost you everything. I redeem it, I multiply it, I pour it out. And now through you, others will be healed. Do not be afraid to pour it out. You don't have to wait until you feel perfect. You don't have to wait until the pain is fully gone. The oil flows as you move. It flows through vulnerability, it flows through compassion, it flows through the courage to say, "This is where I was wounded, and this is where he met me." You are not disqualified by your limp. You are anointed because of it. Like Jacob, who wrestled in the night and walked away forever changed, you carry the mark of divine encounter. Others may not understand your journey. That's okay. They weren't in the fire with you. They didn't feel the press. But those who are hungry for hope, they will know. They will feel it when you speak. They will hear the oil in your voice. They will recognize the sound of someone who has been with Godan, the wilderness of affliction. You see, child, my anointing doesn't fall on performance. It flows from pain surrendered. I don't anoint perfection. I anoint broken vessels who've said yes again and again, even when it cost them everything. And because you did, because you stayed, because you kept trusting when you could have walked away, there is oil now. Holy oil, healing oil, resurrecting oil. You will lay hands on the sick, and they will feel not just power, but compassion. You will speak to the hurting, and your words will not be hollow because they carry history. You will walk into rooms and atmospheres will shift not because of charisma, but because you carry the weight of mercy. This is not the kind of authority man can give. This is not the kind of influence that is marketed or manufactured. This is the oil of the wounded, and only those who've bled with me can carry it. So yes, child, your pain has a purpose. Your sorrow has seed in it. Your wounds are sacred because I am making something eternal with them. You will not always understand the why, but you will witness the how. You will watch me turn ashes into fragrance. You will feel the power of your story setting captives free. And one day, when you least expect it, you'll be sitting with someone whose eyes look just like yours did in the days of your despair, and you'll feel the oil rise. You'll reach for their hand, and you'll say softly, "I've been there, and you're not alone. There is healing for this." And they'll believe you. Not because you quoted a verse, but because you carried presence. Because you carried the oil. Let me tell you something the world rarely understands. There is a sacred authority that only comes from suffering well, not from hiding it, not from escaping it, but from surrendering it, again and again, into my hands. The wounds you thought disqualified you have actually marked you as a vessel of mercy. Your scars are not shameful, they are signatures, etched by fire and held by grace. They are not reminders of defeat, but evidence of survival and testimonies of my faithfulness. When others see your wounds, they'll see me, because I was there in every place you bled. I was the one catching every tear, pressing every drop into oil. You didn't know it then, but even your lowest moments were planting altars of future healing. You will walk into rooms where pain is thick like fog, and the oil I've poured into your soul will begin to rise. Not with drama, not with noise, but with weight. The weight of presence, the weight of love that understands. You see, there's a kind of compassion that cannot be faked. It can't be taught in classrooms or learned from a textbook. It's the kind of compassion that comes from walking with me through betrayal, abandonment, abuse, addiction, anxiety, loss, and still choosing to believe God is good. And because you've said those words with tears in your eyes and trembling in your voice, those words carry glory now. There is a generation crying out for healing, and I am sending the wounded. I am sending those who have been pierced, but not destroyed, bruised but not bitter, tried but not cynical. They are not polished, they are not perfect, they are not loud, they are like you, and they are full of oil. You will recognize them. You will find them in hospital rooms, on quiet walks with the grieving, in late-night conversations that break open old wounds. They will not always preach, but they will always carry me. And when they move, the fragrance of healing will follow. Not a healing of denial, but a healing of truth met by tenderness. This is why I have been so intentional with you. This is why I have not rushed your process. This is why I did not pull you out early, because I was making you ready. You were never just a survivor. You were always an intercessor, not only one who prays, but one who stands in the gap, one who knows what it is to weep and can now weep for others, one who has known isolation and now carries welcome like a fire. You thought the pain was pointless, but I have been shaping a mantle of mercy, a mantle of healing, a mantle of authority born from tenderness. You've learned not just how to feel, but how to see. Not just how to cry, but how to comfort. And now, you will go out not as a wounded child looking for rescue, but as a healed vessel carrying rescue to others. So when you see your scars, don't flinch. Don't cover them. Lift your hands and let the oil flow. Because what once brought you Lewis now being used to raise others up, and what once felt like the end is now the very beginning of someone else's redemption. Let me speak clearly now. You are my answer to the cries of the broken. Not because you have it all figured out, not because you've never fallen again, but because you've come back again and again to the well that never runs dry. You are the vessel I've chosen, not in spite of your history, but because of it. Every place where the world tried to crush you, I have now turned into a reservoir of oil. Not to be stored, but to be poured. You will pour into mothers who've lost children. You will pour into men too afraid to admit they're afraid. You will pour into the hidden, the abused, the silenced. And the oil will speak when you cannot. Sometimes, your words will fail, but the weight of your presence will remain. Because oil doesn't shout. It lingers. It seeps into the cracks. It fills the unseen spaces with quiet healing, and that's what you carry now. Not noise, but nearness. You will walk slowly. You will speak gently. You will anoint without drawing attention to yourself. And that is why I trust you. You do not seek the stage. You seek the hurting. You do not desire applause. You desire my heartbeat, and my heartbeat beats for the broken. This is not a glamorous calling, but it is holy. This is not about platforms. It's about presence. This is not about being impressive. It's about being available, because in the end, what heals is not performance, but love. Love that costs. Love that listens. Love that weeps. Love that shows up and stays. So don't be surprised when I lead you to low places, to places others avoid, to stories too heavy for shallow answers, to hearts that don't even know they're worthy of healing. I'm not sending you with explanations. I'm sending you with oil, and that oil will do what words cannot. You'll find me in those moments when someone falls apart in your arms, when the silence is heavier than pain, when all you can do is sit and breathe with them. That's where miracles happen, not always visible, but always eternal, because you brought me there, and I came through you. You see now? The wounds weren't wasted. They were woven into purpose. They didn't disqualify you. They prepared you. You're not just healed, you're commissioned. Not to escape pain, but to carry presence into it. Not to forget the past, but to walk boldly through the same gates you once crawled through. This is your mantle. This is your calling. This is your oil. So now, child, stand up, not in your own strength, but in the strength of the one who never left you. Stand not because the pain has vanished, but because the purpose has been revealed. Stand because your tears were never wasted. Stand because your scars now shine. Stand because I am calling you out from the ashes, clothed in oil. I anoint you now. Not with crowns of earthly pride, but with the oil of the wounded, the kind that carries healing into prisons and rest into anxious minds, the kind that softens the hearts of cynics and awakens the soul of the weary, the oil that does not shout, but burns like incense before my throne. You are not invisible to me. You are my fragrance bearer. You are my secret weapon. You are my outpouring. The very places where you bled will now be the very places where I pour out my power. The enemy thought your wounds would silence you, but I've made them into trumpets. He thought your shame would bury you, but I've turned it into intercession. He thought your past would hold you back, but I've made it your altar. So walk boldly. Pour freely. Don't hoard the oil, release it. Let your life become a flowing vessel for others to drink from. Let your voice carry the weight of heaven. Let your hands carry the balm of my spirit. You no longer minister from theory. You minister from history. You've met me in the valley, and now you carry the authority of encounter. And when you begin to doubt, when the old voices creep in, when the enemy tries to whisper, who do you think you are? Let me answer for you. You are my anointed. You are my wounded one, made whole. You are my jar of oil, cracked, yes, but overflowing. You are my answer to the broken. You are my reflection, walking among the hurting. You are not what happened to you. You are what flowed from it. You carry healing now, you carry me, and child, there is no greater calling, my beloved. You've walked through fire. You've wept through night. You've surrendered in silence. You've carried the oil of the wounded. Now come, sit with me. Not on a battlefield, not in a courtroom, not in a prison, but at my table, set for you in the very place that once terrified you. Yes, I prepared it in the valley, in the shadow of your sorrow, in the very place you once begged to leave, in the space where your voice once trembled. I now call you to feast. This is not a table of scraps, not survival, not just enough. This is a table of abundance, a table of restoration, a table of honor, and yes, your enemies are watching. You thought vindication would come through revenge, but I am vindicating you through celebration. I am not just healing your soul. I am honoring it before those who mocked, before those who doubted, before every spiritual voice that told you you'd never rise again. I set the table. I pour the wine. I anoint your head with oil. Your cup doesn't just fill, it overflows. Can you hear the stillness? The hush that falls as I pull out the chair? The seat has your name on it, the one I've prepared since the beginning. Not because you earned it, but because you endured with me. You stayed. You waited. You believed when hope felt foolish. Now, beloved, eat. Taste the bread of peace. Drink the wine of joy. Savor the fruit of faithfulness. Let this be your portion now. Not anxiety, but assurance. Not fear, but fulfillment. Not striving, but sitting. Because even in the valley, especially in the valley, I am still the shepherd, and I feed my sheep well. I know what that valley meant to you. I know what happened there. The grief, the loss, the failure, the whispers of the enemy, the darkness that tried to bury you. But this valley no longer defines you. It now serves you. Because I have claimed it, I have walked its length with you, and now I place a table in its center as a declaration. This child of mine is not forgotten, this one is chosen, and this is where they will feast. Look around, child. The valley hasn't disappeared, but it's different now. It no longer holds you captive. It no longer defines you. Because I have turned it from battlefield into banqueting place. Not after the pain has passed. Not once every wound is gone. But right now, in the midst of what once broke you, this is the mystery of my kingdom. Don't wait to celebrate you after your victory. I celebrate you in it. This table isn't set because you're flawless. It's set because you're faithful. Because you kept walking when you could have given up. Because you chose my presence over quick escape. Because you trusted me when there were no signs, no certainty, no safety. And now, in front of every lie that said, you will die in this valley, I say, live, eat, feast. Do you remember when you begged me for escape? When you said, Lord, just get me out? I didn't answer with escape. I answered with a table. Because you didn't need escape. You needed encounter. Not a change of scenery, but a change of identity. And now you sit, not as a slave, but as a child. Not as a struggler, but as a guest of honor. Let this sink in deeply. I prepared this table knowing everything about your story, every detour, every failure, every wound. And still, I say, sit, dine, belong. You are not an outsider. You are not barely invited. You are not merely tolerated. You are wanted. You are welcomed. You are celebrated. This table marks the shift, from endurance to enjoyment, from pressure to peace, from crawling to communing. You no longer eat as a beggar. You no longer eat in hiding. You no longer live in fear of crumbs. You feast at the king's table, and this table will go with you. It is not a temporary place. It is your new rhythm. You will learn to feast even in the presence of sorrow. You will learn to drink joy even when the shadows try to whisper. You will sit, not in fear, but in fellowship. Now that you've tasted what I've prepared, now that you've seen who you are through my eyes, now that you've feasted on peace, it's time for something more. It's time to rise from the table, not to leave it, but to extend it. Because this table was never meant just for you. It was always meant to be multiplied. You know what it is to be hungry. You know what it is to feel forgotten. You know what it is to wander through the valley with no map, no strength, no hope. But now you also know what it is to be fed, to be seen, to be chosen, to be honored in the place where you were once humiliated. So now, child, I send you out as one who carries the spirit of the table. You will not walk the same way again. You walk with bread in your hands and wine in your voice. You walk as one who doesn't just survive the valley, but transforms it. You walk into prisons and lay out a place of grace. You walk into homes filled with shame and set a seat for restoration. You walk into cities marked by despair and prepare the table of hope. And wherever you go, wherever, you open your hands and say, "Come eat. I will be there, because this table is not made of wood, it is made of presence, and my presence is now in you." You will feed the doubter, the addict, the angry, the afraid. You will tell them, "You are not too far gone. You are not too dirty. You are not too late. There is a place for you here. Come and eat." You will not offer religion. You will offer relationship. You will not demand performance. You will extend belonging. You will not serve from superiority, but from memory, because you remember what it's like to starve in silence. And because you remember, you carry compassion, not pity. You carry power, not pretense. You carry joy, not judgment. This is your portion now, to live full, to walk free, and to prepare tables in the very valleys where others are still crawling, not to shame them, but to lift them, not to impress them, but to embrace them, because that's what I did for you, and now you carry me to them. Beloved, you once feared this valley would be your grave. Now look, it has become your garden. You once thought this darkness would swallow you whole, but I lit a candle, and now you carry the flame. You once wept alone in silence, but now your laughter fills this table. Not hollow laughter, but the kind that only rises when resurrection has visited the ruins. Let me say it again. This table is your altar, your launching ground, your resting place, and your weapon. Where others prepare arguments, you prepare bread. Where others raise swords, you raise cups. You disarm shame not with debate but with invitation. You disarm fear not with force, but with feasting. You bring joy into dry places. You sing over bones. You anoint the dying with hope. And all of it, flows from the table in the valley. So do not curse the valley anymore. Do not ask why I led you through it. Do not look back with regret, because the valley did not destroy you. It prepared you. It taught you my ways. It proved my nearness, and now it testifies this one belongs to the shepherd. You are no longer just a guest, you are a keeper of the table, a host of mercy, a carrier of presence, a son, a daughter, a reflection of me. And to every fear that still whispers, "You're not enough," let my voice thunder in response. This one has eaten with me. This one has dined in the presence of shadows. This one has feasted where death once tried to reign. This one is mine. So go. Go without striving. Go without shame. Go not in a rush, but in rhythm, because the table goes with you. My goodness and mercy follow you, and where you walk, the valley remembers. This child did not just survive. They were anointed here. This is your legacy. You are one who sat with the shepherd in the presence of enemies and came out radiant. You are not just a testimony. You are not just a survivor. You are a table bearer, a friend of God, a well-fed child who feeds the world. Welcome home, even in the valley. The table is yours, forever. My beloved, you've searched for me in the thunder. You've waited for me in the shaking. You've watched the sky for fire and leaned into the earth for rumbling. But I did not come through noise this time. I came as a whisper in the wind. You expected a storm, but I arrived in stillness. You braced for impact, but I brushed your soul like a breeze, because I wanted to. Teach you something precious. I am not always loud, but I am always near. You remember Elijah, who stood in the cave after, running from fear and flame. He looked for me in the windstorm, but I was not there. He felt the earth quake, but I was not in the trembling. He saw the fire flash, but I did not speak through the blaze. Then came a sound, thin, quiet, still, and in that whisper Elijah knew. He wrapped his face, not in fear, but in awe, because sometimes my greatness comes quietly. Sometimes my glory wears silence. You've asked, why does God feel so quiet now? Where is his voice like before? Why can't I hear him like I used to? Beloved, I have not left. I am not silent. I am just whispering. Because I want you to lean in. I'm drawing you closer, away from the noise, away from distraction, away from performance into communion. You see, the whisper doesn't mean I'm far. The whisper means I'm close. You don't shout to someone standing beside you. You whisper. You don't yell across a distance. You speak softly into the ear of the one who is near. So if my voice is quieter now, it's not distance, it's intimacy. I want to draw your ear close to my lips. I want you to feel me, not just hear me. I'm not teaching you how to perform. I'm teaching you how to perceive. To recognize the way my spirit moves like wind over water, gentle but powerful, subtle but unstoppable. The wind doesn't ask permission. It goes where it wills. It carries what is light. It moves what is yielded. And child, that's what I'm doing in you. I'm making you wind sensitive. Not emotionally unstable, but spiritually aware. Able to discern the shift, to feel the current, to know when I'm moving, even when nothing around you changes. This is maturity. This is friendship. This is how I speak to those I trust. You wanted volume. I offer presence. You asked for direction. I give my nearness. Because when you're close enough to feel me, you won't always need the map. You'll just follow my breath. This is the way of the Spirit, not always logical, but always sure, not always loud, but always loving. And in this whisper, I speak many things. I'm proud of you. I see how hard it's been. You don't have to figure it all out. I'm not rushing you. I delight in you even now. You're not behind. I'm still here. Let this truth settle. My whisper carries more power than 1,000 storms. I don't need to shout to shake the world inside you. One whisper from me, and your fear crumbles. One whisper and your shame lifts. One whisper and hope rises again like morning light. So make space for the whisper. Make space for quiet. Turn down the noise. Close the apps. Step away from the frenzy. Come sit with me in the garden of stillness. Let the wind of my spirit brush across your soul. Let me speak again. Not because I left, but because you finally stilled long enough to listen. You will become one who hears me in the subtle, who doesn't need flashing lights to follow, who finds me in the hidden winds and walks with confidence even when the world around you makes no sense. You will become like a sail, not rigid but ready, not striving but surrendered, not directionless but wind-led. This is how I guide you now. Not with pressure, but with presence. Not by shouting over your chaos, but by teaching your heart to find me in the calm. I am the voice in the wind, and you, beloved, are the one who hears. My beloved, you've searched the world for peace. You've chased breakthrough. You've climbed mountains of effort and dug through deserts of disappointment trying to find the place where I dwell. But I need you to know now, you carry it. You don't need to reach for heaven. Heaven has been planted in you. There is a garden inside you, not built by human hands, not dependent on circumstance, not subject to decay. It is the place where I walk with you in the cool of the day, the place where shame cannot follow and performance has no voice, the place where my breath sustains every leaf and my love waters every root. You don't need to strive to enter. You only need to remember it's there. You've walked through fire. You've passed through flood. You've sat at the table in the valley. And now I bring you to rest. Not outward rest, but inward Eden. The place where intimacy is not earned, but received. Where my nearness is not seasonal, but permanent. Where joy is not dependent on the forecast, but flows like a hidden river. This is the garden I've kept for you, and it's been growing all along. Even when your outer world was breaking, the garden within was blooming. Even when you felt far, you were closer than you knew. Even when you felt unworthy, I was already walking among the trees, waiting for you to turn aside and notice. Let me walk with you again. Let me show you the beauty of slow communion, of unhurried affection, of shared silence, where nothing needs to be fixed, only felt. Here, in the garden, you are not a servant. You are not a soldier. You are not an orphan. You are mine. You are beloved. You are home. You ask, what do I do in this garden? I say, you rest, you breathe, you receive. You listen, not just to my voice, but to my presence, to the song beneath the silence, to the rhythm of grace, beating like a heartbeat through the trees. This is not escape. This is returning. Not fantasy, but origin. You were always made for this. Not endless motion, not spiritual performance, but garden life, spirit-to-spirit communion, face-to-face without fear. Let me clear the overgrowth, the weeds of worry, the thorns of shame, the dead branches of striving. I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. I just want to restore beauty, because this garden is not just for your enjoyment, it's where I dwell. You've spent years trying to build something for me, but what I've always desired was simply to be with you. I never asked you to climb ladders to reach me. I only asked you to come, to sit, to listen, to be. This garden is not a task. It is not another assignment. It is a place of delight, a sanctuary of rest in a world that never stops spinning. Here, you don't prove anything. You don't perform. You don't push. You receive. You breathe. You remember who you are. Do you see the flowers blooming in the places you thought were barren? That's what happens when my presence dwells within you. I resurrect joy from ashes. I awaken wonder from disappointment. I restore color to places you thought would never feel again. This garden is not about avoiding pain. It's about being rooted. Pain no longer uproots you, and the best part? This garden moves with you. It's not a place you visit. It's a reality you carry. You carry it into waiting rooms. You carry it into traffic. You carry it into conversations, meetings, grocery stores, hospital beds, and silent nights. You carry it when no one sees. You carry it when your hands are full and your heart feels empty. Because you don't just walk in the garden, you have become the garden. You are the place I love to walk. You are the well-watered land. You are the resting place of my spirit. And because of that, wherever you go, heaven goes too. Let the garden grow. Let it spill into every corner of your life. Let it change how you speak with softness and patience. Let it change how you see, through mercy, not judgment. Let it change how you move, unhurried, present, awake. Let it become your new rhythm. Let the roots go deep. Let the soil stay soft. Let the fragrance of communion linger in every word you speak. I am restoring Eden in you. Not a paradise without pain, but a paradise with presence. You will still walk through dry lands, but the well inside you will never run dry. You will still face winds, but your roots will hold. You will still feel sorrow, but joy will grow beside it, like two trees planted side by side, both part of your garden, both watered by grace. Let others come and sit with you here. Don't hide the garden. Open the gate. Let the weary rest beneath your shade. Let the anxious find peace in your stillness. Let the skeptical feel safe in your silence. Because they won't just find you, they'll find me. And when the noise of life tries to rise again, when the world tugs at your soul and demands you perform, when the ground feels dry and the sky feels silent, return here, not out there, in here. Return to the garden. Return to my gaze. Return to the sound of still waters. Return to the wind in the trees, the vine that never dies, the quiet voice that says, I am here. I have always been here. I will never leave this garden. and neither will you. Because this garden is not just a place, it is the proof that I live in you, and child, that is enough. That is everything. My beloved, you've walked through the wilderness. You've sat at my table. You've learned to hear my whisper. You've found the garden within. Now I place oil in your hands. This is the oil of revival. It is not loud. It is not showy. It does not fall with spectacle. It flows with compassion. It burns with quiet fire. Revival does not begin in stadiums. It begins in hearts that have been broken and healed, emptied and filled, surrendered and sent. You are one of those hearts. You carry oil not made by men, oil pressed through pain, oil purified through obedience, oil ignited by my breath. And where you walk, the flame will follow. You will not need to try to be anointed. You already are. You don't have to make revival happen. You are revival. You are the wick that said yes. You are the vessel that didn't give up. You are the lamp trimmed in waiting. And now, I light you. This is not for fame. This is not for platform. This is not for performance. This is for dry ground. This is for empty eyes. This is for the ones who forgot how to hope. You carry oil for them, not to impress, but to awaken, not to control, but to restore. You will not preach revival. You will become it. Your life will be a slow-burning lamp that draws hungry hearts. People will come to you and not know why. They will sit near you and feel something rise. They will cry without knowing the cause. And it won't be you. It will be the oil. The oil of revival flows from hidden altars, from nights no one saw, from prayers whispered through tears, from worship without audience, from quiet obedience. This is where I made you ready. This is where the oil formed. Now the world will see the flame, but only you and I will know the cost of the pressing. This is the season I light hidden lamps. Not the ones chasing spotlight, but the ones content in secret places. Not the ones who shout loudest, but the ones who stayed when it was silent. Revival doesn't ride in on fame. It comes in on faithfulness. You will go to dry places and speak life. You will touch places others call dead and watch them stir again. You will walk through communities where joy has dried up and you will see rain. Not because you control the weather, but because you carry my fragrance. Because when you pour your oil, I pour my spirit. Let me remind you what this oil is. It's the oil of tears turned to intercession. The oil of delay turned into devotion. The oil of wilderness turned to worship. It's not flashy. It's consecrated. It's not trendy. It's timeless. It's not emotional hype. It's holy fire. You carry the flame of those who said yes in secret caves. You carry the prayers of grandmothers, the groanings of prophets, the sighs of saints who never saw the fullness, but believed anyway. You are part of a story much older than you. This oil is generational. It has memory. It has weight. It carries the voice of the faithful and the fragrance of eternity. And now, child, go pour it out, not just on stages, but in kitchens. Not just in revivals, but in hospital rooms. Not just in cathedrals, but in coffee shops. Everywhere you go, bring oil. Let your hands be vessels. Let your silence drip with glory. Let your smile carry power. Let me move through your ordinary moments with extraordinary grace. Revival is not coming. It has come through you. Not because you asked for power, but because you made room for my presence. Not because you built something for me, but because you let me build something in you. You are not an echo. You are not a copy. You are a burning one. This world needs more than sermons. It needs smoke. It needs the scent of something burning because it has touched heaven. And that's who you are, a candle lit in my fire. Not consumed, but commissioned. You are not striving anymore. You are saturated. So go now, anointed and aware. You don't need permission. I've already sent you. You don't need to wait for revival. You carry it. It's in your breath. It's in your footsteps. It's in your love. It's in your hands. And wherever you pour it, life will rise. Let the oil flow. Let it cost you. Let it mark you. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs fragrance. It needs presence. It needs flame. And you, beloved, were born for this. My beloved. There is a stirring in the spirit. Can you feel it? There is a trembling in the heavens, a holy unease that calls my people to awaken. The night is darker, but so is the flame within you. The time of the watchman has come. I have placed a sound in your spirit, a cry that won't be silenced. It is not the sound of panic, but of purpose. It is not the sound of fear, but of fire. You were not born to sleep through this hour. You were born to stand, to see, to warn, to weep, to declare what others cannot see, and to protect what others do not value. This is the call of the watchman, to stand on the wall in the middle of the night, to watch when others slumber, to listen when others are loud, to feel the shift in the spirit before it manifests in the earth. You are not irrelevant. You are not overreacting. You are hearing me. The ache in your spirit is not anxiety. It's intercession. The restlessness you feel is not disorder. It is my call to attention. For I am raising up a people who will not wait for crisis to pray, who will not require headlines to intercede, who will feel what is coming and partner with heaven before it breaks open. These are my watchmen, and you are one of them. You may not look like much to the world. You may not have titles or followers, but you have fire in your bones and eyes that see in the dark. You have ears trained in stillness and hands that tremble with compassion. You see beyond headlines. You see beyond emotion. You see the unseen and cry out until it aligns with heaven. Do not despise the burden. Do not flee from the groaning. This travail is holy. This ache is worship. This unrest is your assignment. When others mock, watchmen mourn. When others feast, watchmen fast. When others sleep, watchmen pray. Not because you are better, but because you are awakened. Because you have seen what I see and it has undone you. But child, do not be afraid of what you see. For I do not show you destruction without giving you the authority to speak redemption. I do not reveal shaking without offering the strategy for rebuilding. You are not just a prophet of warning. You are a midwife of revival. You weep because birth is near. You cry out because glory is at the door. And your voice matters. Even if you feel alone, I have stationed others beside you. There are watchmen in every nation. You are not isolated. You are interconnected. And soon, like the sound of many trumpets, I will cause your cries to merge and become a roar in the spirit that will break chains, silence darkness, and open ancient gates. So blow the trumpet, sound the alarm, raise your voice like a ram's horn on the wall, not to stir fear but to awaken faith, not to condemn but to prepare. The bride must be ready, the lamps must be filled, the people must return to the altar, and the watchman must not grow weary. So take your place, stand tall, even if your knees shake, stand, even if your voice trembles, speak, even if no one listens, prophesy. I have set you on the wall, and I will keep you, and I will speak through you, and I will move because you prayed. You are not just watching, you are partnering. This is the sound of the watchman. It is rising, and it will not be stopped. My beloved, you have walked through fire and not been burned. You have wept through the night and still found me in the dawn. You have been crushed but not destroyed. You have been emptied only to be filled again. Now I bring you home. Not to a place but to a posture. Not to the end of battle, but to the beginning of abiding. Come under my wings. Come into the shadow of the Almighty. Not to escape the world, but to be sustained within it. This is not retreat. This is refuge. Not fear, but deep trust. You no longer need to prove anything. You no longer need to fix yourself. You only need to rest. I am your hiding place. I am your unshakable fortress. I am your gentle whisper and your warrior king. You have run far enough. Now let me carry you. Let me be the strength you no longer have. Let me be the song you no longer remember. Let me be the light that leads you into stillness again. You do not need to strive to stay close. You are already held. You do not need to earn the shelter. It is yours by blood, by covenant, by grace. There will still be storms, but you will not be shaken. There will still be valleys, but you will walk them from a place of security, not scarcity, because you know now, I am not just the God of the mountain. I am the refuge in the shadow, the shelter in the storm, the embrace in the silence. So lie down, child. Your fight is not in vain. Your pain is not your legacy. My presence is. Rest now in the shelter of my heart. Let your soul breathe again. Not because you've finished the race, but because you've learned what it means to walk with me. The story does not end here, but your fear does. Your striving does. Your shame does. From this shelter, you will go out again, but you will go differently. Anchored, awake, anointed, alive. And when others ask, how did you survive? How did you keep going? How did you carry the oil in the fire? You will say, I learned to live from the secret place. I found his shadow was my strongest shelter and I was never alone. So come now into the stillness. No more rushing, no more running, just abiding. The war is not over, but you are no longer a stranger. You are a friend, a child, a resting one, a kept one. You are home.